Hi, it's Julie from A Cooking Revolution, and it's been a while since I've been on a video. So I just thought I would hop on real quick and show you how to do one of my favorite things. I make this every week, and that is homemade hummus. And one of the wonderful things about homemade hummus is that you can make it however you want it to taste. You don't have to rely on what you can find at the store. You can use whatever beans you want and whatever seasoning. So I typically make hummus with like a white bean, but I decided today to use pinto beans. So it's going to be sort of like bean dip. I don't know if you grew up in the 70s, or I don't know if they had it in the 80s. They had these canned bean dips, and you ate it with tortilla chips, which were a new thing back then, at least where I was growing up. But so this is going to be kind of reminiscent of that, but I'm going to season it the way I want it, so it's how I want it to taste. But I soaked some pinto beans last night. Making beans is also so simple. Is you soak them overnight, and then the next morning while you're getting ready, you cook them, and then you've got beans. This is about half of the beans. 1 cup of cooked beans makes about 3 cups of no, 1 cup of dry beans makes about 3 cups of cooked beans. So this is about 1.5 cups of cooked pinto beans, and I'm just going to put them in the food processor here. And then in hummus, you usually use tahini. You don't have to use it, but I'm going to go ahead and use it. It gives it a nice flavor. And for this amount of beans, which this is equal to about 1 can of beans, if you're using canned beans, make sure that you rinse them well, so that you don't get all that extra sodium and any kind of preservatives that they may have. But for 1 can of beans, or for 1.5 cups of cooked beans, you want to use about 1.5 tablespoons of tahini. So, here we go. Scrape that off of my spoon. And then you start putting the seasonings that you want. For this amount of beans, I use a 1/2 teaspoon measuring spoon. I'm going to first put in salt. If you don't want to put salt in, that's okay, because I cook these beans myself. There's no salt in there. If you're using canned beans, you may not need any salt. But if you have a salt-free diet where you don't add any salt to your food, you don't have to add the salt. I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, a 1/2 teaspoon of coriander, and here we go, a 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder. And this is actually an ancho chili powder, and it's just dried and ground chili. It's not what you find in the grocery store, although you can certainly use that as well. But check to make sure that it doesn't, if it has salt added, then don't put any extra salt in here. And then finally, I have just a teeny bit of cayenne here. I'm going to see if I can get that out there and put that in just for a little bit of spice. And we're going to plug this in and turn it on. We're just going to pulse it until it, come on, until okay, then I just want to scrape down the sides, and then we're going to run it continuously for just a few seconds, not quite a minute. That. Okay. And my food processor doesn't want to cooperate. Come on. Maybe I got it backwards. Nope. Well, here we go. There. All right, pulse it down. Continuous. So. Okay, so I'm going to scrape down the sides again. It looks like it's a really nice consistency, but I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to it. If it seemed too dry, I would add a little bit of water. Or if you don't want to add oil to yours, you can just add about 1/4 cup of water to your hummus as it's going. We're going to add a little bit of oil. All right, there we go. We've got nice consistency. You can see the hummus here. And then you can just start eating. Simple as that. And I will see you again soon. Hopefully I'm going to get to doing this again more frequently, and I will see you on the next one. So let's see. Put on my glasses so I can see what I'm turning off. Stop recording. Okay. See you later. Bye-bye.